Hello and welcome to the first ShrimpsTV Talks. I'm here with Joel and we're here to talk about Fleetwood, Charlton and run up to MK Dons. So how are you doing, Joel?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm doing all right.
Good. Right. Fleetwood. What a game.
Yeah.
You were watching through iFollow, weren't you?
Listening, unfortunately. Saturday afternoons, unfortunately. I've not worked out a little way with a funny fire stick like some people might be able to. But no, I was listening. So I had the delights of Ryan Daly's voice break, which was an absolutely wonderful thing to hear. And yeah, I mean, it sounded like we were somewhat in control. And I've watched the game back since, and it did look like we were in control for a lot of the game, despite not having very much of the ball, which was somewhat reminiscent of last season, really. But yeah, I felt good about the game and watching it back, and it was a good performance. I think we were worthy of the win. Obviously, the way it came about was in spectacular fashion, but take away all that, I think we were worth the 3 points. You know, we had a really good midfield performance. Callum Jones stepped up in that number 6 kind of role. So, you know, we were worthy of the win. I was really and to be honest, it's sometimes when I personally sometimes feel when you kind of grabbed a win in dramatic fashion, you know, I look back and think, oh, but you know, what was the underlying kind of performance? But actually, the underlying performance was quite good, and we were possibly a little unfortunate to be drawing at that point. So we deserved the win, and to do it in that fashion was amazing.
Absolutely, it was a grand day out because I was there. I was there personally. It was fantastic for support. I don't know how much you saw of the support on the the videos you were watching. But the support was fantastic. I think we took about 1,100 fans with us.
Yeah, it was. I believe so. Yeah,
quite a few.
There were plenty of videos going around on Facebook afterwards, fortunately. And actually, what was quite fun was plenty from the Fleetwood end, which meant I really enjoyed actually, because you got a view of all the players legging it to the other end of the pitch, which is lots, and all the players and like the defenders and everybody get their reaction as it went in. I thought that was quite a lot of fun.
You don't normally see that from a lot of away clubs, do you? You don't normally tend to get that.
No, I think I kind of I'm guessing. Well, they've just scored an 82nd minute equaliser in front of their own fans. A couple of minutes later, they've gone pretty damn close from another corner. They've got a couple. I mean, just before the ball gets cleared to Cole, they've got an attack and swing the ball in. You know, they wanted to get the last minute winner.
Exactly, but he just never came for it.
Yeah, they got exactly.
They were not predicting that. I was up. To be fair, no one could. We were expecting Cole to have another goal like that.
No, I mean, I'd be interested in asking Cole, like, if I've got the chance, like, was Wimbledon kind of playing on his mind, and what? But I don't. I
planned.
I know. I don't. Although I don't want to kind of ask him, because I kind of feel like he's in this amazing kind of place mentally where he's just able to do stuff like that. And I feel like I don't want to disturb that.
It's like spoils the magic in a way. It's like asking a magician about the tricks. A magician never reveals the secrets.
Wrap him in cotton wool. I'm actually, what I would be quite interested to know is if what the other players were thinking. When he spins around, and obviously O'Connor said in his post-match interview, "Go on, Cole, why don't you have a go?" But I wonder if a few of them are thinking, "No, Cole, just lay it off, hold on to it," you know. But with what he's done against Wimbledon, I mean, like, even on Charlton Tuesday, there was that ball that popped up for a volley, and he just smacked it.
Exactly.
And I was like, you know what? Fair enough. You've earned the right.
You've got nothing to lose, have you? So you might as well have a pop.
Like
Adam Phillips with his Sky on Tuesday. But we're not going to talk about that.
No.
We'll try and forget about that one. Well, most people in the career don't score goals like that. And Cole's come around and he scored 2 in a season. It's unheard of, really. He's on fire. He's back at top of his top goal scorers in League One again. And it's just miraculous to see.
Yeah, Cole's funny because, I mean, throughout his career with us, he's always had a bit of a knack of scoring good goals, actually. He's always, I've always felt he's kind of scored the harder chances. I mean, you could go back thinking, I look back at a couple of some of his old goals in his earlier spells with us. There's that one against Bournemouth in the EFL Cup where he kind of flicks it up and spins it on the volley. There's one against Crawley, he hits one on the spin, the volley. Last season, Like there was the Solihull one on the volley, really good. There was another one. There was the Southend one that was really good. Scunthorpe, he hits some great shots.
We've got a list as long as our arm.
I know exactly
to talk about. But this season, it's like he's been something else.
Yeah, no, he started putting away the easy ones.
Exactly. he's been unreal.
Yeah, no, he's been really, really good. But I think what's worth not forgetting about is his hold up play is incredible. Like the way he is able to kind of back into players and use his strength and physicality, have defenders trying to address him basically, but then still take a good first touch. It's spectacular, and the way he can relieve pressure in moments like that as part of a team. So like what I've liked about his performances this season, they're not just about him scoring big goals. He's not like Ronaldo or somebody like that. It's about him putting a shift in and doing loads for the team, but then also scoring lots of goals.
Absolutely.
I mean, he runs his socks off every game. Like, it's so impressive. Like, you could have always been forgiven for kind of just thinking, well, I've just banged it in from the halfway line. I didn't need to run around. But no, he runs his socks off. It's brilliant.
He does. Well, how do you feel about January? Are you a bit nervous? Because I know I am. I'm a bit nervous that someone's going to swoop in with a bid. Well, with probably a high bid to try and take him away.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
It's entirely possible. I think I'd like to think that the price is pretty bloody high at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll have to see. Obviously, the transfer market's a weird thing. And then I mean, it's a funny one. A mid-season move, it is always a bit of a risk. You've got very little time to settle into a new place as a player. That might be less appealing. At the same time, you might see it as his opportunity, which I wouldn't really begrudge him for. But he might also just want to think. You might think, well, I'm happy here. I'm settled. Well, I'll see out the whole season, and then maybe weigh up my options a bit more when I've got a bit more time in summer. So we'll just have to see how it unfolds. I think we've got, he's not the. I mean, it's worth remembering he's 27. So if he was 23, 24, I think it'd be very, very nigh impossible to keep him. But at 27, maybe interest might peak off. But at the end of the day, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens and just keep our fingers crossed that we can keep him.
It's just like everything that's happened with Carlos and Sam. Just feels like we can't get too attached to these players because it feels like it could come around the corner and get swept away. Yeah,
to be fair, I mentally prepared myself for Carlos leaving in about January. Even though I knew he'd be gone at the end of the season, and you can't. I think the Carlos situation went as well as it could have possibly gone, to be honest, because he went right at the start of the window, went to a club that I think would be a good place for him to develop. I don't think it's not quite happened for him yet, but he's only a few months there, so he's got plenty of time to keep growing there. Absolutely. And we've got on our record ever fee for him. I think the club managed that really, really well, and that was a good transfer to be done. And at the end of the day, the earlier those transfers can happen in the transfer window, the better.
Absolutely. It's like the Sam situation. That was devastating for me. That was devastating that it happened so late on. We had all the rumours. I can remember deadline day, like the night. I was talking to Mickey. Me and Mickey were having a chat. We're just like, well, is he going to go? I think we were out. Actually, we were together at that point. I think we were like at Squires. We were watching a footy game, and then we found out it had happened. We were absolutely devastated because we're going back and forth all night. Will he? Won't he? Will he go? Then I think we sort of settled on the fact that we thought he was going to stay. Then half an hour later, it's just like Sam's gone. I think giving him his heartfelt goodbye. And
I think after Wickham, obviously there was the whole Wickham thing where that didn't really transpire, and I think it sounds like Wickham weren't offering enough. And I think Charlton's a bit sexier than Wickham. Sorry, Wickham. Charlton are central London. They won the Premier League not too long ago. So and they've been a kind of a lower championship club for a while. So they are quite a sexy. They're a pretty sexy club. Let's be honest in that kind of regard. But and obviously the bids come in, and we obviously the board and the manager felt the money's right, so it's happened. But yeah, it was tough to lose him on. I think losing a player on deadline day is always going to be frustrating. And then I think him and O'Connor have been building quite a good little partnership at centre back as well.
It's a shame to kind of. I feel like we need someone in that. We need someone in that position. I think we need to fill that centre back role. I'll be honest. We do need one.
Obviously, Stephen Robinson's alluded to. Obviously, we could do with a bit more kind of aerial steel at centre back, and I think that's maybe something that we probably lost a bit with Sam. He would go, head anything, and yeah, I think that would go quite nicely. I think that would complement the skills of O'Connor, who I think is pretty good in the air, and he's a brilliant defender. And O'Connor, really, really good. I really like him, and it would just be good to have a kind of somebody maybe more in that kind of Sam Lavelle mold, and they might work quite well nicely together. But we'll just have to see how we go.
Absolutely, I do like O'Connor. I do like him. It's for me. It's the fact that he's captain, but he's not very vocal. He was, admittedly, he was at Charlton because he did give a few players a bit of a bollocking, quite rightly so, for not pulling their weight. But from what I've seen, he's not the loudest person in the team, is he?
Yeah, don't really matter. Look, at the end of the day, like as I think Steve Robinson made this point in a Q&A pre-season, and I completely back it. Look, there's so much nonsense thrown around about a captain's armband is a little bit of fabric that goes around somebody's arm, and they go and do a coin toss in the centre of the pitch. Doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, a team doesn't become a better team that doesn't have strong character through just one player. A team has strong character through players communicating and helping each other out, and it's not about one leader. It's about several leaders and who are able to kind of step up in the squad and communicate. And I think, I don't know why people took a bit of a turn, seemed to take a bit of a turn against them, but they did. I thought it was absolute nonsense. He's played pretty well all season. He's made a couple of errors. Everybody's made a couple of errors, so don't bother me. Yeah. For me, he's our best centre back. Very, very good footballer. So back him, really good. And like you say, all this nonsense about whether he shouts or he talks enough. People aren't on the pitch. We can't really know. Sure. We're not on the pitch. We're just in the stands. We can't we can't hear a bloody thing, to be honest. And from where we are, it's hard to kind of really analyse that kind of thing. And he's we saw him at the end of the Fleetwood game. He went mental, and he went mental when he scored against Charlton as well. And speaking to him on the podcast, he's a smart, pretty. Well, he seemed quite level-headed. Obviously, when he gets on the pitch, he's pretty fiery. But he's a smart, thoughtful guy.
Absolutely, that's all you want.
Yeah,
that's all you need. Right, we'll move on to the Charlton game. And for me, what a turnaround! We were a different team in the second half.
Yeah, it's a funny thing because I felt it was one of those where we played better and lost, to be honest. But what was quite nice is we did something that we probably haven't shown too much of this season. In that we shot ourselves in the foot. Let's be honest, in the first 20 minutes, and then we just kind of clawed our way back in without really setting the world on fire. And I think that's probably something we've missed a bit this season. I mean, if we look at very crudely, we'll look at kind of wins, draws, and losses. Like we haven't actually drawn very many games, and I think compared to I look at a team like Cambridge, who I don't think they've won many. If they have won, it's only one or two more games than us. But they've been avoiding defeats, and sometimes you got to be able to grind through when things aren't going. When you're maybe not on your best form, or you've made a couple of daft errors like we did in the first half against Charlton, and we kind of ground through and just kind of kept plugging away and kept in the game, worked hard, got a couple of moments and made one of those moments count. And that was really good to see because it's not something we've seen a great deal of this season. And hopefully we'll be able to see a bit more of it.
Absolutely. We just need points on the board at the minute. We just need the wins. We need the draws. We just need to keep avoiding these losses.
Yeah. And I think, we showed a good bit of character to be able to do that. I think that's something that's probably changed in the last few weeks. I think we despite kind of those moments of calamity in the first 20 minutes, for a large amount in the second half, we were defensively very, very sound against, some very, very good attacking players for Charlton.
Absolutely, we were.
And I thought that Elliot Lee for Charlton was absolutely, he was really, really good. So, we showed we were able to kind of be organised and communicate with each other and get on the same wavelength. So, it's just about keeping that going. And look, it's not going to work out every week, obviously, but the fact that we're able to, face one of probably the form team in the division in Charlton, lots of good players, gift them 2 goals, then without being amazing, just kind of grind our way back into the game. And then once we got level, Charlton put a bit of pressure, but we rode that out pretty well. So I think, look at in the context of a lot of performances this season, I think it was a really, really positive thing.
Absolutely. There was quite a positive atmosphere during that second half. First half, maybe not so, due to some of the silly mistakes. But it did turn around and become quite positive.
Yeah, I think obviously, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the game, but I think my dad was at the game and he didn't seem to have any. It didn't seem like the crowd had turned. I think obviously, when mistakes happen, people do get a little bit frustrated, and that's fine. But I think the crowd we have, especially this season, they don't tend to turn that much. I think that's a credit to the fans that we have here. I know people sling mud a little bit on Facebook, actually, when it comes to terraces, I think people are generally relatively supportive. And I think, it sounds like, you'll know better than me, but it sounds like we did just kind of say, made a couple of errors, but, Cole's done his thing, made Chris Gunter look like a little child and won a penalty from him. And then, get behind the team in the second half, and we did. And we got our reward for it.
Yeah, that was the mentality going in. We had a lot of people. It's just trying to keep the positive atmosphere going, just chanting and getting behind the team, and I think that's what helps. It helps them pick up, doesn't it?
Yeah, the players and the manager have actually said it several times. That I think that we sometimes underestimate what our support is, what can mean to the players. And to be honest, I not much of a singer at the football. I kind of sit there and get stressed. But I always think full credit to the people who are singing and making a noise even through the bad times, the bad moments, because I don't mutter and get too dissented or anything, but I just sit there and just worry. I just sit there and furrow my brow and I can't chant. And so I think I'm always a little bit in admiration of people who do manage to kind of be 2-0 down and still whipping up a good atmosphere.
Well, it's like all those people in the middle. It's like you get your Tyler Carters and you get your Oliver McGills and just chanting and backing the team. People like Mickey Miller as well, backing the team through thick and thin, going home and away. You get your people like that. They're the main people who are keeping the players going, starting the chants, even taking the drum. James Main taking the drum to the games and just making the atmosphere out of this world.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a really good atmosphere over the past few games, and this season, like every time I've been down, it's been rocking. Fleetwood looked amazing. Well, I was at Blackburn. That was amazing.
Blackburn.
We just got,
amazing.
And I think we've got to credit the club, the board of directors, in to some extent as well, because last season, what we did last season was the aftermath of that was an opportunity to be seized upon, and they've done that. They've done that with the cheap season tickets, and we've got loads of people down, loads of people up for it, So that they didn't just say, "Well, fantastic, we've been promoted and we're in League One now. The people will come, fantastic." They said, "No, let's take that positive momentum. Let's put a little bit of input on our end with the season ticket offer, and what they've generated is brilliant."
It'd be nice to retain a lot of those. It would be good to retain a lot of these new season ticket holders and hopefully get more people at away games, because we went down to Cheltenham and admittedly there wasn't a lot, and hopefully we can pick up those away attendances. It'd be good just to keep the atmosphere going and take a lot of people down. Like we could end up like Charlton one day, taking 600 odd fans like all the way down to London.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe one day.
Area.
I think Charlton might be a bit of a stretch, but
it would be. It is a bit of a stretch, but
no, I think we get we're getting there. We're building support. To us, I was quite impressed at how many we took to Cheltenham. It was over 100, wasn't it?
It was over 100, yeah.
Not bad. It was a horrible night as well. So it's not bad. Cheltenham on the Tuesday night. So fair play to I think it is growing, but I think the board and everybody at the club they've got they fully intend to keep on growing that as best they can.
So what's your away experience has been like this year? Which ones have you done?
Oh my days! I can't even remember. I can't even remember what I had tea last night. I did Blackburn. That was good fun. Lots of good fun. Oxford. I remember that. That wasn't such good fun.
No, no, it wasn't. Absolutely not.
Actually, to be fair, we played quite well that game. Just a couple of errors, and just how it goes. Being a bit soft defensively at times, but then Crewe away. I felt Crewe was a big moment because
absolutely it was a highlight.
Yeah, because the last couple of trips to Crewe were pretty miserable, losing 6-0 and 5-0. So to go to Crewe and not only avoid losing 5-0 or 6-0, but to actually win 3-1 was, after
it was a fantastic experience. The atmosphere was great.
It was a good atmosphere. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I can't remember if I've been to any others. I think I might have been to one more, but I can't remember. Or hopefully a few more.
It's nice to see some returning players as well. Like we saw, who was it who came to
Crewe?
Kelvin Mellor came to Crewe.
Kelvin Mellor and Harry Davis both came to Crewe.
Harry Davis both came to Crewe, yeah. I think they came for the Christian stuff, didn't they? Because we did a remembrance. I think it was a minute of silence for Christian.
Yeah,
I think they were there for
a minute of applause at some point.
Minute of applause, that was it, yeah. Minute of applause for Christian. And then we had Sam and someone else. Who else was there at the Charlton game? Sam. I know his dad was there with him for the Legends Q&A.
Yeah. I did see actually. Paul Mullin came to the Cambridge game, but
that was what I was thinking.
Yeah, but not with us. He came with the Cambridge fans, which is understandable considering he's just won one promotion with them. And I suppose Morecambe's. I mean, he moved. I think part of the reason he moved to Wrexham was obviously the money, but geography. He's Merseyside based. Wrexham isn't too far from there, so Morecambe's not too far for him to go to watch Cambridge.
It's a lot easier for him. But
I mean, to be fair, that was one of the fun things about Wembley. Actually, I thought it was quite funny seeing how many ex-Morecambe players were kind of dotting about. It turns out I then clocked onto this, but we were sitting a couple of rows ahead of Craig Stanley, which was great. Which was a bit of a throwback to the whole previous Wembley victory. I remember Jordan Cranston was there. I think.
God, yeah, for me, Wembley was a bit of a blur, so I wasn't too sure who was there.
I remember
who else.
I remember seeing something on Twitter. He said he was going, so I screenshot. That celebration he did against us.
Yeah. God.
Yeah. That
didn't age very well, did it?
I know, yeah.
We bit him on the arse.
I know. Took him on the chin, though. Took him on the chin. Seems like a nice lad.
I think Jim Bentley was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, Jim was there. There. As he should have been, to be fair. As he should.
Definitely. I hope he's getting on well. So he's had his heart bypass recently, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's back in the dugout. Seems to be doing all right with File. They're top of the league, and they've got a really good squad for that level.
I didn't know because I've not been keeping track. I didn't know we were on top. That's good.
Yeah, they're the top. They've got a hell of a squad. To be honest, they've got Luke Conlon there. Obviously, they've got Jack Johnson, David Perkins is there. Stephen Dobby. They've got a really for that level. They've got a really good squad. So
it'll be all Jim's contacts, won't it? It'll be the ones who want to come in and help him out, which is what you want to do.
Yeah, and I hope Jim gets that promotion because he's a.
So do I. He deserves it.
Yeah, definitely.
Is Ken McKenna still with him, or is he gone?
Ken McKenna went, I think.
Do you know what he's doing now?
Not a clue, unfortunately.
Not a clue. No. It'd be nice to chat to him at some point if we ever could track him down. Get some of his thoughts.
No, definitely. Maybe one day.
I know, yeah, it would be good. So, MK Dons, we're coming up to Saturday. How are you feeling for that?
I mean, scared obviously because they're quite a good team. But I'm scared before pretty much every football match, so that's not much of a surprise. But I think they're a really good footballing side. Obviously, we've tended to do better against the good footballing sides this season. It's the more physical ones that we tend to struggle a bit against. So maybe that's a bit of hope. But they're really smart. The way they pass the ball and move it around is really good. So we're going to have to be careful with that. I think we're not going to have a great deal of possession, but nobody does against MK Dons.
Absolutely.
They've just had they lost in the last minute against Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday night. So, I mean, with these kind of things, like one way you could take that is they'll have their confidence crushed and we can walk over them. The other way we can take that is they'll be really fired up and they'll come out all guns blazing. We just don't know. Exactly. You can never predict these things.
No, you can't. It's football. It can go anywhere.
Yeah, it's a stupid sport, really.
I know, yeah. You can never bet. Well, my friend Kieran, he always said, never put a bet on Morecambe. He said, you can't do it. It's for results. Well, I don't want to name it, but like what happened at Wickham.
Yeah, no,
you never know what's going to happen.
You never
know what's going to happen, especially with Morecambe.
Yeah, and to be fair, you would have been lumping on Charlton when they went 2-0 up. When they went 2-0 up on Tuesday night, wouldn't you? They've been backing them. But no, we like to jump out with a few surprises here and there, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. We do. It's like Cole with his goals. You never know what's going to happen. You never go how he's going to score him, but you can rest assured that it's going to come at some point.
Yes. No. Yeah. Hopefully, they'll keep coming because he's on course for about 30 this season, which is mental.
Wow. On that note, it's been great speaking to you, Joel, and I think we'll end it today. And hopefully, same time next week if you're up for it.
Nice one, mate.
Right. Thank you very much.